Alrighty, I wanted to go over a couple things. Now, I found this article a few days ago. I forgot what... I lost it. And I thought it was an actual Bigfoot sighting on campus of a college, but it ended up being this. I guess researchers uncover Bigfoot clues in new Travel Channel series. That's what it was. Now this, what is this? Maria. It's a funny way of spelling it. Maria Meir stars in the new Travel Channel series Expedition Bigfoot as she and a team of investigators go in search of the legendary creature. I'm trying to see where the hell they were at. FIU, I think it's Florida. A Florida University. I wish they'd freaking say it. But it does go on to say all kinds of things about this. I believe they're going to be undisclosed remote location in a 9,000-acre swath of a land in central Oregon. Of course, Oregon and Washington State have had the most sightings of Bigfoot. But I'll tell you something, there's literally stuff around my area that indicates of Bigfoot. But if anybody wants to check this out, I know I ain't got the Travel Channel, that sucks. Hopefully I can watch the friggin' series on YouTube or something while it progresses. But there's one thing though, when I started looking this up. Oop, hitting the wrong button. Now when I went to look this up, I did get a couple colleges. I don't know, one I believe may be fake. This one might even may be fake. But they have a video here. If anybody wants to check it out. Bond County, Illinois. And they got this thing in the bushes. Now, I don't know. I want to say it's real, but I can't. It's throwing stuff at them, but how they got the yelling, and the yell that this thing did sounded legit. But I mean, when it came out of the bush, it's like, oh my God. But I'll tell you something. I know I always say, where lies a Bigfoot sighting, lies a Native American dwelling. And that's what I say. And, I mean, I read this, and then they got a couple guys here that say they had a Bigfoot encounter. This guy went off to say, I swear he had 3 legs, a huge upper body. He could probably bench 800 pounds, but when we get down to this one, he was big, purple, had green patch on his stomach, and almost had resemblance of a dinosaur. Which is I don't understand. Then it went on to say this guy was searching for mushrooms in the woods. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. I mean, this whole article does, though, go on to say, and then it seemed to be singing with a group of children. He almost died, but supposedly this guy got knocked out with a friggin' like a tree log. And of course, if you get knocked with a tree log with a creature as big as Bigfoot, of course you're gonna start seeing things. But I don't know. I'm not saying this is true. But I will say, if there is any kind of sightings out in this Greenville College, and they do say that there has been a Bigfoot harassing Greenfield College in the mid-50s. A lot of encounters, happened during the 50s and 60s. Hell, even my father, I still got to do a thing that I got told from my father in Air Mass. And I'm telling you, the area that was sighted in, and there's a story behind this one. Oh, man. So I'm going to save it for that. But I will say this, that the area where this sighting was, there was a huge Indian dwelling there too. So when I started looking up for that FIU, I got this. I went, oh no, what the hell? Sorry, wrong article. I went straight into the history. Now, where they say they had sightings back in the 50s, I mean, it could have been, a big phenomenon of people dressing up, but, I don't know, man. I still think this is a creature made by Native Americans. And, this came up. This is off the the Bond County IL. I'm sure that's Illinois Gen Web. I'm gonna pause for a moment. I'll be right back. Gotta do something real quick. Alright, I'm back. Gotta clear my throat out. God damn it. Yeah. Anyways. Like I always do when I hear something about a Bigfoot sighting, I always look into the history and the origin of the land. And sure as shit, two neighborhood forts built, the Cox Massacre, Salt Works, slavery issued in Bond County schools, farms, and finances. Well, as it goes here in 1817, past creating the county of Bond, boundary was beginning is at the southwest corner, township number 3, north of range 4, west, then east of the southwest corner of township number 3, of range number 1 east. Now, as you can read these directions, that is definitely how they used to speak back in the old days of the 1800s, 1700s. And they also used to call miles rods. Two neighborhood forts. Certain there was settlers in the limits of the county. I wanted to get into this. Governor Edwards advised the building of family or neighborhood forts. Now, what we used to call them over here in the east, I'm thinking they're going with garrison houses. That's if anybody had ever gotten attacked by Indians, could run to this one house. I think it was all built by brick. Just like the pig story, 3 little pigs. Built a house of hay. Built a house of, mud or whatever. Anything weak that the friggin' wolf can blow over. And then the last pig built a house of brick. I'm sure this is where they got the story from. But, Governor Reynolds says that the north of Bond County, the county was infested with hostile Native Americans. 2 forts were built in Bond County. One called Hills Fort was the 8 miles southwest of Greenville. on the farm now owned by John O'Brien. What? I'll get to that later. Covered an acre of ground a mile and a half south of Hill's Fort was Jones Fort. It was built in summer of 1811. The two forts were constructed of palisade walls with block houses. Bastions and cabins within. Portholes were made in the whole. President and formidable appearance. Two forts were spacious enough to accommodate all the settlers in their stock. So, with that being said, notice how they used blocks, let alone brick. And the settlers used to tell how the Native Americans would come from the north and hunt and fish in the vicinity of these forts. Then you got the Cox Massacre in Bond County history. Probably as early as 1809 or 1810, family by the name of Cox moved from around Alton and settled near the present village of Pocahontas. Now, whether or not this is where the original Pocahontas lived is a question to be named, but I'm sure they took that name due to the fact of the Native American Pocahontas. And across Shoal Creek, once again, waterways, creeks, rivers, bodies of water Native Americans lived by, from two forts, 1811 to Filden, what the hell? The family was building a horse. What? I did get it. They're building a horse? Who the hell building a horse mill? Oh, a horse mill. Gotcha. What the fuck? Yeah. I'm losing it. But on June 2nd, some Potawatomis, came to the Cox home finding only a brother and a sister home. It was reported the family had money. The Indians killed the brother in cold blood, taking his heart out and placing it on his head. This was done in the presence of the sister. She was then told to get the money. She gave them only a part of the money. She was then placed on a horse and on other stolen horses. The party started north. Rebecca Cox was a sensible young woman. She tore her apron in strips and dropped the strips along the trail. When the family returned home to Hill's Fort, was alarmed. Captain James Pruitt and some settlers started a pursuit. The Native Americans were overtaken north of where Springfield is now. The young woman was recaptured with a dangerous tomahawk wound in her hip. She recovered, married, moved to Arkansas, where her husband was massacred by Native Americans. 3 miles north of Pocahontas stands a monument erected by the community. Death of young Cox. And then it goes on to talk about the salt works. I believe that's just a factory or mill that was built. Well, they found Shoal Creek, which flows. Something with salt was found. Signs of salt were discovered and marked on maps. It is not known how early the manufacture of salt began. There, that's obviously where salt came from. But as you can see, Native Americans going into this area, massacring people for money. You know what? I think this friggin' story's fabricated. You see how they call them hostile? They call them, savages. They call them the devils, the work of the devil, and all kinds of horse shit at the horse mill. And when all in all, land was taken, as you can see, and who knows how much of this land in Illinois was stolen from the Native Americans. And hey, they just did what they thought they would do, is to get their damn land back, get their rights back. And definitely in the 1800s, they were really starting to figure out the white man's purpose of what the hell they were doing with their treaties, with their paying taxes, with their, hey, we own this now, you beat it, and that's that. I guess also Abraham Lincoln came to this Bond County. Barack Obama, someone else. So it is a very popular place in Greenville, as a matter of fact. But the college was built there. And of course, as you can see, Native American land. And I have noticed in a lot of my research that colleges, asylums, sometimes mills or something, all these places, these big, important places were built on Indian dwellings. And to see a Bigfoot sighting out here, all in all, there you go. Why do these creatures emerge? Why does a skinwalker emerge? Why does a puckwudgie emerge? Because they are trying to scare off what was taken from them and so forth. That's all that is. If you respect the land and the land around you near sacred Native American grounds and don't look like you're gonna do something stupid with it, or, you'll be left alone. You go tearing it up, you go do something that's disrespectful, I guarantee one of these creatures will emerge and you'll see it. And just coming up with this story, man, it's like, damn. It's crazy how stuff just pops up when I'm trying to find something. But what started it, of course, was the Bigfoot at the college campus. So, that other story I ain't even going to go over. But I am going to check the land. I think it was more or less for a publicity stunt. Maybe there are sightings in it, but I want to check the land first, of course. And if there was any, and I also noticed too, when big massacres or wars go on during Native American, times like these, you always find that Bigfoot or, skinwalker, the puckwudgie. You wouldn't be surprised if that land is cursed. Man, you'll know it. But like I say, if you're all interested in checking out that, like I say, they are supposed to be, coming up with some new info. And this is supposed to be giving you clues. Can't wait to see what the clues are. And I didn't even know it until I, got into it. The famous Ronnie LeBlanc of Leominster, he's gonna be in this thing. And I've been trying to send him my evidence of my Bigfoot knock, but my video don't download on Twitter. It sucks. But I gotta find another place to send it to him so I can get the full video I made of it. But other than that, this ain't no joke. Now Ronnie LeBlanc is the one that wrote about Monsterland and the Bigfoot sightings in this area. And I believe I stirred it up December 30th. I will be going back to the same exact location where I was last year and start whacking them trees, boy. Gonna see what we get this year. And I mean, I'm gonna be doing both in one stone too, or both with one stone. My hunt for skinwalkers, 'cause they travel. Oh, they do. And where Wachusett Mountain was the huge part of the Great Chief Metacom War, I won't be surprised if I find that either. But I know there's a Bigfoot out there. That sucker knocked back at me. I don't care what anybody says. I got a knock. Literally knock from them woods. And I'll be going back to see if I can catch it again. Till that next video, be safe, take care, and always believe. You gotta believe. Out.